Everyone, welcome to Sports Plaza. With me today I have Surinder Singh, or Sandy Paji as he likes to call himself. He's a die-hard Rajasthan supporter. Today we're not talking about Rajasthan, but he must be a happy man from last night. Today, Bangalore has beaten Lucknow Super Giants by 18 runs. So Sandy, what do you think about today's match?
Yeah, I tipped RCB to win, and I tipped them to win convincingly, and they did it. And it was all due to Faf. Brilliant knock by Faf. It was flawless. He stayed there to almost the end. And I said when Lucknow played, they needed a KL Rahul or Quinny to do the same, and they lost 3 wickets before the 10th over, so it was virtually game over.
We'll come
But
to Lucknow's batting in a bit, but talking about RCB, how good was Faf's knock? As he said rightly, captain's knock stayed right till the end, and it's his highest score as well.
Yes, I did a live commentary on something on winning her out, and I'll share that on my channel. But yeah, something, the fitness levels of him, that what impressed me most about that knock, because you could see how much it was taken out of him, and he
Yeah.
was doing all the hard yards on the twos, and obviously rotating the strike as well. And then once he had got used to the pitch, it was like a batting net for him.
No, absolutely very valid point. Lot of doubles being run. He only hit two sixes in his innings, and he was 50 of 40, and the next 46 came of 24 balls. So he ensured RCB gets to a score of 181. Coming
Yeah.
to the
We
another
have to congratulate Shabazz Ahmed. I know the stats don't really show that, but the fact is they built that partnership when they were really struggling. So Shabazz is, 26 of 22, whatever he made
yes.
like that, was very, very important, because that was the perfect foundation for them to get to 180. Soon as they got, I said the pass score was at 185 for me, and when they got 181, I was still very confident that RCB would win the game, because with Josh Hazelwood, another guy who tipped in my life, I said Josh Hazelwood looks like a beast. I didn't think he had it in him to bowl like this in India. I thought UAE was quite good, but he's
Yeah.
really, really, improved as the bowler, and he was a star man with the ball.
Yes, very rightly said. Hazelwood looks like a different T20 bowler altogether. He spent some time with the Chennai Super Kings along with Faf, and now both are in RCB. Coming to Virat Kohli, what is wrong with him? Do you think it's just a phase? Because it's now been 100 innings since he scored a century across all formats. His last three innings, only 13 runs. This IPL, 119 runs. What do you have to say about King Kohli?
Well, I get a lot of stick for my views of Virat Kohli, but I'll share them on your channel.
Yeah.
And it's शादी तो बाद, yeah, शादी तो बाद form dip हो गया. Simple as that. You know, some players, after they get married and get responsibilities, they improve their form, yeah, because they need a settled home life. But unfortunately for Virat, and this is what I'm a level 2 cricket coach, and I do a lot of psychological work with people as well. The issue is, once the motivation is gone, it is very, very hard
But
for you to
you see him on field, and what we see, his attitude, his celebrations, always that never say die attitude. I don't think that motivation has gone. Matlab, why do you say
No,
that?
the motivation to do the hard yards. Okay, when's the last time you've seen him work out in a gym or social media? And
Yeah,
you go back even a year and a bit before he's got married. The guy was the gym holic. Yeah, it was completely in the gym.
I think
I
I
think
still don't
now,
doubt his fitness. I think his fitness is
no,
still
that's what
on
I'm trying
top.
to say. I'm trying to say a level has dropped. Is it 1% or 2%? And for some players, that 2% is so big, yeah, and we don't realize. I've been saying it for 2 years. The fact is, he was chasing the records, he was chasing the gold, and he fell short. And now he's got married, and he's got all the personal endorsements and stuff like that. Some players will drop that 1%, and it makes a difference to them. The what thing that he had was that edge, and I just don't see it there. Yes, he's aggressive. Yes, he's passionate. But the fact is, he's given up the captaincy. He failed as in the Indian captain, and that's a body blow psychologically for him. And the thing is, the media coverage he gets, sometimes you just think he's had enough. And I don't see him coming back. And I've been saying it for 2 years. he's not going to have that purple patch, that gold patch that he had before, because I think cricket's moved on, and he unfortunately he's in decline.
Okay. Ashwini is just joking that probably he left non-veg. That's why his form is dipping. Well,
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's another thing. That's the thing with him, because the thing is he's getting involved in these things that he never used to before, and I think the public eye, the public pressure that he's under, he's probably just thinking, I'm making 17 crore at RCB. I never have to win the fans don't question him. He's at a franchise. He's got a safety net. He needs that change. And I even said what he needs to do. If he's really serious of getting his form back, come in to play county cricket, come into county cricket for a month or 2 months, a fresh country, fresh thing, less media thingy. And guess what? He could retain it back. But the fact is, he's on this treadmill, constant treadmill, and he's not doing anything different. Even if he played Ranji for Delhi, just imagine Virat played for Delhi. He's not played for Delhi for years, and going back on your home ground, feeling more confident, at the Kotla, and spending some quality time in Delhi might do him good, but he's too secure, and that's my personal beliefs.
well, secure is one thing that may happen because even if Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli are having a lean patch, which has been ongoing for some time in the IPL, they'll never be dropped because they're such stalwarts of the game, the World Cup coming up. However, I beg to differ on the marriage aspect, but that's my belief. I don't think this has anything to do with
Vedant,
marriage.
I'm only joking. I'm only
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
joking.
I completely get it.
I'm saying it seriously as in that sense, but the fact is, you think about what he's had to go through. He lost his father at a very early age,
Yeah.
and now he wants to be with his daughter the maximum time of with his daughter, and that basically means, yes, sometimes he might have to skip things which he wouldn't have done when he didn't have that responsibility, and that's a human thing and a human trait. We don't know, but that's the only thing that we can speculate, because the thing is, you look at his physical fitness, it looks exactly the same as it was 2 years ago. The only thing I don't see is that obviously the gym work that he used to be so crazy about, that's now gone. And the other thing is also the level of fitness of every other cricketer, due to following him as a role model, they've also increased their fitness levels. So if it's like, and in football's time, I don't know if follow football.
Yeah, I
When
do.
Arsene Wenger first came to Arsenal, he had the different approach mentally, physically, and the players. He changed the diet, he changed the shape of the players, and that basically made him a success. And what happened? He never changed during his tenure. He kept the thing. Where others managers like Mourinho and these big other managers came in, Pep now, Klopp, they used his fitness levels, his networks, and stuff like that, and they've improved on the work that he's gone. And
No,
I don't see
absolutely.
Virat
I'll stick to
improving his
Virat
technique.
Kohli. He's absolutely set the benchmark and the gold standards when it comes to fitness. I know it's been a long, lean patch, but I expect him to bounce back. That's what champions do. And
We
as
will
a
see in
cricket fan,
Edgbaston. We will see what happens in Edgbaston. I'll see him
yep,
live. And I saw him at the World Cup. I saw him back before, and in the innings against Pakistan when him and UV were in,
yep.
such a brilliant thing to watch him live, and you could just see the fight. And I think he's got it, but yeah, as I said, that one
Well, as
percent
Indian
he's
cricket
lost it.
fans, we can only hope for the best. And
Yes, yes, we want him to come back. The thing is, the fact if he does come back, what a brilliant story that would be, because
yes,
he's been stuck on this mark. And if you look at the records of all the players, I know that the big four, Kane Williamson, Joe Root. Look at Joe Root. Whilst he's been stuck on there, Joe Root's nearly scored 6 centuries, seven
Aji,
centuries in that.
we'll stick to today's match. This is a
Yeah,
different discussion. I know we can talk hours and hours on this,
I
and
know
we'll
it's true,
probably
it's true,
do
it's
that
true. Go on,
later.
go, go.
But
Yeah.
what do you have to say about Faf's opening partner, Anuj Rawat? He's got a long run, which you relatively don't get in the IPL. He's played 7 matches as an opener, hasn't
Yeah.
scored a lot. Do you think he'll continue as an opener?
I think they will. I think they'll keep the winning formula. And again, you got to trust in Anuj Rawat. He was one of the players that I wanted RR to retain, because I do see a very, very good player with him, and he's also going to be the future of India, because I think that wicketkeeper batsman type of thing. So I think they will stick to him.
Yes, a
And
very valid point. Ashwini is yes. Ashwini is saying that Virat mentally confused in batting whether to play the anchor role or to go all out attack. That may be one of the reasons because Maxwell comes down. Maxwell has a clear role. DK he's been given a very clear role. with RCB. So if it's come down to Virat's role or his position, that needs to be sorted out as soon as possible. So, Paji, were you a bit surprised when Chamira did not finish his quota of 4 overs? Because Ravi Bishnoi, once he bowled his 3 overs, he has 3 overs, 33 runs. He bowled the 18th over of the match. I personally did not expect Bishnoi to complete his quota because Chamira got the two openers. So, any specific
Yeah.
reason for that?
Again, a poor captaincy by KR Rahul. I've been a very huge critic of his captaincy. I think he does make tactical mistakes and he makes the wrong tactical mistakes. And I think that's where Rohit is different to all the Rohit can read the game quite well. Whereas I think he missed a trick with bowling Chamira. Chamira bowled really, really well up front. And the
Yeah.
fact is, they didn't trust him with one of the death overs because that was the difference. That over, I think it was 16 or 17 runs he went for in that
Bishnoi
last
went
over.
for 14, 15 runs, yes.
Yeah, 14, 15 runs. I say he went for 14, 15 runs. You take that off their target, just say 7, and then suddenly they're under 180, 175, 176, and then you'd say, look, now would have been favourites to win that game.
No, very valid point. And you said this before, but the top three for Lucknow, which do the bulk of this scores, Quinton, KL Rahul, and Manish Pandey. So KL Rahul got to a 30, but he has a splendid record against RCB, and these top three just scoring 39 runs cumulatively. I think that was the downfall. Like once they lost those three early wickets, you knew like they always just playing catch up.
Yeah, they were always playing catch up. And the fact is, if you look at the difference between the runs and the balls remaining, it was always around 26, 27. And they needed that one big over, and you had to
Yeah.
think where they were going to get that big over. I knew Josh Hazelwood was not going to concede, a 15-run over. The only one would be Harsha Patel, but the wicket was for Harsha because the slower balls, even the spinning, Shabazi's four overs, he bowled a lot slower than Bishnoi. Yeah, he didn't
Yeah.
speed the ball through. He made the ball, he used a slower pace. So that basically meant that the batters couldn't get the timing. And then with Harshal with the slow balls, I know he went for the runs in the last over,
Yeah.
but the game was already lost. And the fact is because they knew, after Stoinis, even Holder, there wasn't any batting left. You could not see how Lucknow were going to win this game.
No, definitely. And what do you think about this? You said Virat should go back to playing Ranji. Do you think he can go play the county like Pujara is doing right now?
Yes, why not? Why not? I say I'll talk to Warwickshire tomorrow and get Virat playing Edgbaston. It'd be awesome. But it's true. As I said, he needs to do something a bit different
Yep.
and to recapture that thing. And I say Ranji would be good as they spend some time in Delhi, which he probably never spends time near Delhi other than family stuff. And playing in front of the Delhi crowd at the Kotla in home surroundings, that might be good. And again, that would be very good for the younger batsmen in the Delhi setup. The other
Yes,
thing would be coming to the
good point.
county
I
cricket.
know there's so much talk on Kohli. We've come back to his topic. So, how good was Josh Hazelwood? 4 overs, 25 runs, 4 wickets. So he
Game
won the match with
changer, game
RCB.
changer,
Do you
complete game
whose innings
changer.
would you
The
rate
guy,
much better?
as
Du Plessis' batting or Hazelwood's bowling?
well, that's the thing. You think about RCB, they've never had a bowler or that's been able to protect any score. Yeah, the big joke is they can set up 500 and they won't be able to defend it. But finally, they found a bowler, and this Hazelwood transfer, as we call it, has really, really cost CSK so much in that match, and it's to RCB's benefit that they have him because I think Hazelwood and Harshal at the end is one of the best things on these type of wickets.
Definitely, I would say Harshal is there. He's a dependable bowler. And I personally, for Hazelwood, he's more a power play bowler. For me, he always gets wickets up front. At the slog overs, he can go for runs, but till the time he's getting you wickets every match, I think that's very, very useful bowling the hard lines. People call him a test bowler, but he's actually modified himself so much to suit the T20 format, which is amazing. Another
100%
thing,
Vedant, and that's what he's done. He's learnt the game. He's learnt the slower arts.
yeah,
He's learned how to vary it. So the batsman now has to think rather than just put it on the spot. What he used to do it before in the test. If you watch him as a test bowler, out of 6 balls, 5 will be on the exact spot or
correct. And
within.
that is what Ashwini is talking the exact thing. He said he reminds of a Magrat who was bowling at the similar spot continuously. Rightly, what you said right now.
Yeah, and then from there on, what would happen then is the batsman would be able to line him up. But now with a harder ball up top, and if he bowls 3 overs at the top, and they can keep him for 1 over in the at the end, the
Yeah,
19th or the 20th over at the end, even if he goes for 16 runs in that over, his figures are still going to be under 32, 33, which is a
I
good
agree.
balance, isn't it? And I think that's what other teams will have to work out is like at Rajasthan, we need to play Prasidh, bowl him at least 3 overs at the start.
We'll stick to today's match, Paji. I know
Yeah,
Rajasthan's your
yeah.
favorite team.
But
You'll
that's the
keep going
technique.
there.
That's the technique. What people have to look at
Correct.
their bowling attacks and not go for the bog standard of 2 overs at the start, two
Yeah.
overs at the end. You need to bowl the bowlers at the right speed.
Absolutely, that's a valid point, and that's valid for all teams. So, were you a bit surprised when Krunal was sent up the order? He's not been getting a lot of batting. You sending Badoni above him. Now Stoinis is there, Holder is there, and he did well today. So, were you surprised with that move?
Not really. I think they've got to do something because Manish Pandey doesn't fill you with confidence, does he? So the
Yeah,
fact is, having Manish Pandey or Karuna at three, it doesn't make a massive difference. Manish Pandey is a massive problem in T20 cricket because at Sunrisers he continuously fouled, he continuously eats up a lot of balls, doesn't accelerate his scoring, and then gets out, and that really cost the team a lot. And I said, like, how he got in the Indian team before Sanju is a mystery.
definitely. Even Ashwini saying after a long time, Krunal Pandya looks good. And Ashwini, this season, the Pandya brothers have actually been in very good form. Hardik has got more opportunities with the bat and ball, catching every of those opportunity to actually claim his spot in the playing 11 for the Indian team. And Krunal as well. He's not bowled his quota of 4 overs, not got to bat so much even for Mumbai in the last 2 3 years. But whatever opportunity he's getting with Lucknow, catching hold of them. So Paji, just one last question before we end this video. Are these hitters batting too low? You saw, I know DK has a specific role, but you have Prabhu Desai batting above him. You have Shehbaz batting above him. Same for Stoinis Holder. You have so many batters that they're coming at number six, number seven, number eight. Do you think it's actually too low?
No, as I said, if you look at the key partnerships, yeah, 5 and 6 is the key partnership. If your top batsmen are definitely being able to, it depends how many batsmen you lose at ten overs.
What do you think about Holder coming in today? You think he came in too late, or that is the depth of Lucknow's batting squad?
It's the depth. Well, the thing is, they once they promoted Krunal, Holder was there. I would have probably put Holder in at fourth day and just say, look, just block out and then get because the thing is, you look at how RCB did it. Faf played himself in, and then he was able to accelerate. I think Holder can do the same job, but not
Yeah,
as good as Faf. But he could have basically meant that they've got wickets in the shed come to 15. At 15, they were already exhausted with their wickets. One more,
understood.
one more wicket
Understood.
had
Yes, just
one
this
more wicket
last
had gone,
question
they would have
before
been
we
finished.
quickly wrap up. Why do
Yeah.
Pakistani players play more of county than Indian players?
Well, that's the BCCI's fault, and that's why, as I say, you will see a lot of Pakistani players playing in the county cricket. They love them. We've got Rizwan and we've got Pujar in the same team.
Yes, yes.
At thing, it's all money because Pakistani obviously there's no money in their domestic tournaments, whereas India, most of the players will play in the IPL or they'll get good lucrative contracts. So the need for them to come to England isn't as much, and the Pakistan players will always come to England because one, there's a lot of other Pakistani players here. There's a big Pakistani community. I think
Correct.
the BCCI have to re-look at that and say those who play IPL and not international should be allowed to play county cricket or play in the Blast or they play in the BBL. I think the BCCI have to do that because that will improve them as cricketers in the long term to represent the country India.
Very rightly said. I think people not playing regularly for BCCI not contracted because BCCI only allows retired players to play other leagues or around the world. It should not be the case. So that's a valid point. Ashwini is also saying that Ryan Campbell, who's been a guest and the Netherlands cricket coach on our channel, he's come many times. He's a wonderful human being. He's in coma. So Paji, he's an ex-Australian player. He's played for Netherlands. He's coaching Netherlands currently. So he's in coma. So our
Wow.
best wishes for him and hopefully he recovers soon because he's still so young, still has that fire burning inside him. On that note, thank you so much. Do subscribe to Sports